planting trees is not the answer to everything.
Yes.
Like, what is native? What was the natural ecosystem like? Ecology like? What are the species there? Understanding all this is important. Trees could choke the ecology out of local things.
Many of us indulge in tree plantation drives, either individually or through organizations, through our schools, as Vana Mahotsav and so on. But few of us do homework about what trees to plant, where to plant it, and go about planting these trees without giving it a second thought, thinking we are doing good, but we may actually be doing some harm. So today I have with me Arun Venkataramanan, who is the founder of the Forest Way. He's a turtle conservationist. He's won the Sanctuary Asia Conservation Award in 2021. And as a part of the Forest Way, he has founded this beautiful community that has reforested the hill in Tiruvannamalai, and they planted hundreds of thousands of trees. So I would like to hear from him about what we should keep in mind when we're planting trees. So more about that in this episode of Tree Talk. So hi Arun, welcome to Tree Talk. This feels very awkward to be in a formal conversation. Arun also happens to be my brother-in-law, so we don't normally talk formally like this. But welcome to Tree Talk. I wanted to ask you, if people want to plant trees, they think they're doing something good. They either a school or a group of people, they want to plant some trees. I know there can't be some universal principles because it depends on where they live, in the soil and rainfall and weather and so on. But are there some guidelines that you can, general guidelines that you can share with those who want to plant some trees?
Yeah, I think tree planting is really catching on now. No, I mean, everyone wants to plant trees, and also all these carbon credits and all is coming in a big way. So I think it's becoming important to look at this, carefully. So one thing is that, like you said already, rainfall, latitude, whatever, the climate, the soil, everything is there. So local trees, we need to plant locally, and the thing is how to find out what is local, which is local, That is where I think the bit of a glitch is. First is the knowledge of what is local, and when you do find out, the second thing is sourcing them. So what we have found is the native plant nurseries are, limited in number. You don't get that many local species. And one of the reasons is that local trees are not well known. Like certain trees, everyone knows the names of certain trees. The trees that are known are all the avenue trees which have been planted over a long time, and they are not necessarily native. In fact, often they are not native.
Okay. So one is of course the the benefits of planting native. Can you also throw some light on what kind of harm would result in planting the wrong species in a particular place? Like some examples of it.
No.
Because one is setting out to do some good and ends up doing some harm. So what kind of things?
We have a lot of examples of non-natives from other places coming and doing harm here. But even anywhere from anything exotic is a problem, often. Not always. Sometimes they get naturalized. Like our rhododendron has gone into the world,
Right.
And it can be very problematic because, they have interesting qualities where certain species don't let anything, there are technical terms for all of this, they don't let other things grow.
Correct.
They inject things into the soil so that nothing else grows around it. So you
this
can
is what
have
the invasive kind is. That
not
the
all
invasive?
invasives do that,
Okay.
but they can do that. Some like the subabul which was introduced in India, it propagates itself so fast,
Okay.
that it chokes other things.
Okay.
Like lantana has been choking,
Yeah.
Parthenium is everywhere, giving all kinds of human health problems as well.
Yes.
So when we say invasive, there are trees which are running away using the opportunity. They don't have natural predators, they don't have the usual, there will be checks and balances within a native system.
Right.
But if you go and introduce, then the natural predators are not there, then, they are running amok. And, so you can have native forests choked, like they say, in the Western Ghats and all that. Lantana has choked the forest. Even animals are unable to move.
Right.
So there are certain species which are really invasive, spreading so fast.
Okay.
So you don't want to plant something which, you're planting one tree and then before you know, your whole garden is just one species.
Correct.
And then you're fighting to remove. I
Yes.
remember in the place that I was earlier, we had this coral creeper. It's called Antigonum.
Okay.
Antigonum's tuber is somewhere 6 feet inside the ground, so you can't even find it.
Can't take
So
it
all
out.
the time you're fighting a battle with it, trying to remove Antigonum, whereas the plant is safe inside, and the tubers inside will keep coming.
Propagate.
So once you've brought it in, it's very difficult to remove.
Like
So you-
water hyacinth, I guess, in our water
Exactly,
bodies.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful about what you're introducing
Yes.
because it can have long-term impacts on repercussions on it. Like
Okay.
so there are many examples, but
Yeah.
anything from here or there, from wherever to here, it's a problem.
Okay. Okay.
Of course, not all of them are doing it. Like because some are so close to the species here.
Yeah.
Like we have the rain tree, right? Interlope
Yes.
in summer. No, that one has not run amok.
Okay.
It's a large canopy tree. It has served its purpose well.
Right. Right.
But still, we have a local equivalent, which is
Yeah.
Albizia lebec,
Yes. Yes.
which would do the same.
Same.
So if you want a large canopy tree, it's not like we have a lack of species which have large canopies here, which will do
Right,
the same
right,
thing. So
right.
if you have that option, one should do that.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, not to castigate any species like that.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
every species needs to belong where it needs to belong.
Correct. Yeah, that's well said. Yeah. When we were discussing this yesterday, one of the things you mentioned was keeping in mind that just barren land. You see barren land and you think, let's go plant trees. That is also counterproductive because not all land is meant to have trees, a scrub forest, or you have other kinds of vegetation. And people go and plant trees and change the nature of the land. So can you just explain that a little bit? That if I want to plant trees and I see some open land, I shouldn't just rush and
Exactly.
plant things there.
No, that's again new knowledge. I think it's increasingly coming into people's consciousness. And a lot of scientists are doing work on this, which is that India was also a tree savanna. A large parts of India, like the entire Deccan or all these plateaus and all that, they had trees, but they also had vast open grasslands. Now the new term that's coming for them is open natural ecosystems. And these are like, you can imagine the African savanna, right? A large amount of herbivorous animals.
Right.
India didn't have that kind of large numbers of herbivores, or probably it did many centuries ago, but if you see in recent times, they do support a large amount of herbivorous animals, but also grazing communities, pastoralist communities, and that's the main source of engagement to the land, right? And when if you go and plant them all up, then you are choking that again. That's a natural ecosystem. Like see, the cheetah belong to open grass system. The great Indian bustard belong to an open grassland. So there are a lot of species which come from open grasslands. In fact, if you see the latest State of India Bird Survey, it says what's disappearing are these. Like because fruit trees are there, gardens are producing fruit trees, so all these bulbuls and all those fruit-eating birds are thriving.
Yeah.
But larks and rollers and all these open grassland birds and open grassland animals as such are disappearing.
Right.
So planting trees is not the answer to everything.
Yes,
Bringing
yes.
what is native, what was the natural ecosystem like there?
Yes.
What was the ecology like? What are the species there?
Yeah.
Understanding all this is important. Not
Yeah.
rushing in and like trees could choke the ecology out of a
Correct.
local thing. Like so
Yeah.
you don't want to do that either.
Okay.
So, like for example, all our Western Ghats, the higher regions,
Yes.
were all grasslands. Are all grasslands. The British didn't understand them and planted them with trees.
Right.
But all our South Indian rivers, peninsular rivers,
Okay.
originate in grasslands.
Okay.
So there's a tree line above which there is a
Okay.
like even Himalayas has it. It has the tree line, it has the snow line.
Right,
In between
right.
is all
Grass.
grasslands. And grasslands are so diverse.
Yes.
Like the Western Ghats, the tree species may be 100, 200, but the grass is of 400 species. So much more biodiverse, much more life there.
Right.
So it's important to understand all these things and
Yes.
plant native, whether it's a tree or a shrub or a grass or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
In fact, grasses need to be understood more.
Also.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then obviously one is of course check which trees you're planting, but also where you're planting is equally important. Okay. So to sum up, if you can give us some pointers, takeaways for if somebody wants to start or take up a project to plant some trees or just do it individually, some pointers to them on what they must keep in mind.
Yeah, one thing is that we might be planting in our own garden, or we might be participating in a drive.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I think paying attention to ecology of the region is very important. When you come from ecological principles, when you're saying you're not merely introducing one species, you're enabling something larger.
Yes.
So to understand ecology is most important.
Right.
And I think it's a fascinating area, right?
Yeah.
So I would say start with ecology, plant native, and these kind of information may not be readily accessible. So to access this information, go to the right sources.
Absolutely.
For that, I would say look at well authenticated sources. Like, so one of the things is this Ecological Restoration Alliance. We have a nice website.
Okay.
You can become a member. You get newsletters. We have conferences. Participate in all that.
Okay. We'll add the link to that.
Add the link. Yeah. So then because there we are trying to put up more and more of this kind of native knowledge, native information. So, for example, Nature Conservation Foundation, one of the core members, founder members of ERA, they are creating these maps where you go and click and you know what species belongs there.
Wow.
So they have done it for the Western Ghats. They'll be doing it for the whole.
Okay.
And also more and more books are coming out on the native trees. Like so Navendu Page, who was our mentor, he is writing 10 books are in the pipeline, but already he's done one for Western Ghats, he's done one for Arunachal Pradesh. He's doing, and people like us also are trying to produce this kind of information. So you can source.
Yeah.
Once you get into ERA, I think you'll get all these links.
Okay.
Yeah, that may be a good starting
Yes,
point.
I'll add the link to that. Thank you so much, Arun. So I think it's important when you're setting out to plant trees to not just rush into it. The key thing is to do your homework so that you don't end up harming the ecosystem, but actually really do good that you intend to do. So do plant trees by all means. It is a wonderful way of giving back and making a positive contribution. But do pause to do some homework before rushing in. If you know others who take part in tree plantation drives, do share this video with them. Look out for some of the other videos about trees on this channel and subscribe to stay posted.